2 days ago, a horrifying incident happened on my farm, and I was just able to put up a post just to let you know of what was happening on the farm. Couldn't really explain what was the cause by then because I was in panic. I was so emotional, but right now I'm a bit stronger, and I'm just going to tell you exactly what happened. But before I do that, I want to appreciate each one of you who reached out to me in that trying moment. It was really heartbreaking. I read your messages when I put up the post. You guys reached out to me. Some of you came in my DM. Some of you emailed me, consoling me, and I truly appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much for being with me in this trying moment. But the beautiful thing is, I'm a bit stronger, and now I'm more experienced about whatever happened. That's why I'm going to share with you so that it doesn't happen to you at your farm. So what really happened that day before the exact incident, these are plates. We are now approaching 9 weeks and they are floor layered. So what happened is I had introduced them to the natural lighting program, that is 12 hours of lighting program. So that means I wasn't giving them any more light. As the program says, the lighting program says. So what I did, I had done that for like 2 days and everything was normal, nothing had happened. So you can't run the farm one person. And I wasn't feeling so okay. So I told one of my people to go and watch over the birds as they were sleeping, doing all that. So we all went to sleep, and then here comes the morning routine. So when I was supposed to vaccinate these birds that day, so I didn't check on them. I just rushed to go buy the vaccine and then come back. Everything was prepared, the vaccine, and I was like, okay, let me open the door. Guess what my eyes landed on? I can still remember the sight. All the birds had crowded in one corner near the door, and they had died. It was so horrifying. Like I just panicked. For a moment, everything felt like it had come to a standstill. But I had to collect myself together. I had to count the mortality, how many I had lost, and there were over 15 birds. Some of you who know how big my farm is, that's a big percentage. And it was not out of sickness, it wasn't an outbreak, it was out of negligence, that day was a bit, I neglected my duties, I just got lazy. When you're a poultry farmer, you're not supposed to get lazy. Any moment, any slight mistake could cost you a lot, and that's exactly what happened. My conclusion was these birds had suffocated. So someone will be like, what caused the suffocation? That's what I'm coming to. A few weeks ago, I did a video about post-brooding management of commercial layers. I don't know how many of you have watched it. If you've not watched, go back and watch it. Now, these plates after the brooder, they develop some habits. And most of these habits, like I explained in that video, they come about because of poor management in the poultry farm. These birds developed a behavior, one of the worst behaviors in deep litter system, that's smothering. Now, what's smothering? Smothering is the behavior of floor-layered plates, of crowding themselves together, piling up, suffocating, and eventually leading them to die. This piling up is caused by reaction of panic. When there's something which has frightened them, they kind of all crowd together. They run in one direction in a way of reacting to any kind of fright. And then attraction to feed. They can be attracted to feed or to a certain environment, to a particular corner. And they just keep piling up there. Sleeping behavior, they do that in the process of losing heat if they are too hot. It's also a social behavior in a way to protect against themselves against danger. And then it's also caused by following a change in feeding times due to lack of feeding or drinking equipment. If there is no water, there is no feed at a particular time, they do that. It's also a reaction to sunlight getting into the poultry house. So what exactly happened is when I assigned someone to close the door at my poultry house, they closed the door, but unfortunately there was some light which was peering through the window. And that's when these pullets, they all gathered into that corner because they were seeing some ray of light entering into the chicken house. And that's how they ended up suffocating and eventually dying, many of them. So how do you avoid smothering? How do you avoid this behavior? Of course, even if I give you, you must know already. If you know the cause, you know the solution. So what do? Bring forward then the lighting program, the light on and the light out program, bring it forward by half an hour. But you know these are pullets, they're supposed to be on natural light. So, but there should be a transition. Don't just put off the light or on the light like boom. It has to be through a process. And then the other thing, of course, use opaque materials. Like for example, when I established that the light was from my neighbor's house, you know, my neighbor is on a floor of a storied building. So the light, their security light could, like there's a way to find, so it escapes into my poultry house. So what I did was use the opaque materials so that I can cover all those sources of light. The other thing you can do, of course, what I am going to emphasize on is use perches. When it's time for these birds to sleep, they'll make sure they go and perch. In that way, you're reducing the number of those birds that are on the floor, and that's how you're going to avoid smothering. The other thing that I did, you know, this is the door, so it's straight. There's a way they can come and huddle in one corner. So what you do, you round off the corners. If you have corners in your chicken house, just like the way we do during the brooding process, you should do the same. Round off those corners so that there's no way they can crowd themselves together, you know. What did I do exactly? So after establishing, I had spent time here, guys. When the lights were off, those previous days I've been working so hard to make sure my birds are safe and nothing can happen again. So what I do is I come inside here around 7 and I see what really happens. So I move them, you know, I carry them one by one. I put them on the perches. I make sure I reduce that crowdness. That's what I did. I mean, desperate moments call for desperate measures, but those are solutions. Like I said, I'm a bit stronger and more experienced about how to raise commercial layers, especially when you're managing post-brooder management. So I'm going to make a simple perch, like simple. We all know the qualities of a good perch. It should be 40 centimeters high. It should be of a leveled ground so that you don't introduce pecking order in your birds. The birds should feel like they are at the same level. I want to do something like this. This is the same level. This is where they will be standing. Then I can also put something here so that one or two can stand here, you know. And then this is the ground, like you can see. From here, from the ground up here, it should at least be 40 centimeters. So I have my materials here. Of course, most of them are locally sourced. I just got from wood cut-offs. I got myself a bosso. Is it called a bosso? And I have my simple hammer. I have my cut-offs here. And so we're going to build. This is going to make this is the longest, and these ones are going to make the legs, the stand-ups. I'm going to make something like this. It's coming along. These are the perches I've managed to come up with. As you can see from the floor, we are told they're supposed to be 40 centimeters from the ground so that they can feel these are birds. So, and then here they are on the same level. Because if you introduce, growing up I saw these perches, they were in levels, but that's discouraged because once you do that, it's like you're introducing hierarchies among the birds. And if you do that, you're creating what we call pecking order, a very bad habit. So if you want to avoid pecking amongst your birds, the perches have to be on the same level, just like mine. It's simple, but it's going to save me a lot. And I've put 2 of these in here. If you asked me, the best solution, the very best solution to all these problems, it's using battery cage system. I know it has its downs, but if these birds were in a battery cage system, for sure there was no way they could suffocate. I mean, these problems of smothering and all that, they would be avoided. But for now, the most effective solution is using perches, managing the lighting program properly, and other things. All right, thank you so much once again for reaching out to me in these trying moments. But like someone said, this is a whole put of experience, and I don't think I'll ever lose my birds to smothering or another behavior that comes up after brooding. Kindly like this video and comment on it. Let's see if I'm not the only one who has lost birds to those kind of behaviors. I'll feel safe, you know. All right, see you in the next video.